Hi everybody, Matt and Tom back with you. Hope you're okay. Well, we had a slight change of plan today and we've ended up in Clitheroe. And obviously, when I think of Clitheroe, the only thing I can think of is Clitheroe Castle and, of course,
Jimmy Clitheroe.
Jimmy Clitheroe. The Clitheroe kid himself. You best look that one up, otherwise that looks really dodgy. Anyway, we're just going to have a walk around. We're going to find a few bits that are here. Tom's found a couple of ghost stories and folklore stories, and we're going to end up in a quarry where we might find some fossils. We'll see what happens. It's all just random. Let's find out what we can find. Yeah, let's go.
Today we have a little ghost story for Clitheroe, and it concerns a maid called Peg O'Neill, or Peggy Nelly. Sometime in the 18th century, Peggy was a maid at Waddow Hall, which is a children's activity centre somewhere behind those trees currently. And she had a big almighty argument with her mistress. And her mistress ended the argument by saying, "Oh, I hope you go and slip on the ice and break your neck and die."
Wow.
Well, now, Peg, or Peggy, went off from Waddow Hall and she walked across Brungley Bridge over the River Ribble and headed into the town, up to the well. And she filled up the water and everything. Anyway, as she came back over Brungley Bridge, she did indeed slip, break her neck and die on the ice. And since that time she's haunted not only Waddow Hall but also the headmaster's house, which has now been demolished, and part of the grammar school in Clitheroe, and we'll have a look there later.
Wow. Okay. So just beyond the bridge on the hillside is Salthill Quarry. That's where we're heading next, and apparently there may well be fossils scattered around.
So, for the next bit of history, I'd like to take you back to the anarchy. Not those anarchists, though, no. But the anarchy of 1138. Stephen and Matilda. Yes, they decided that Henry I's daughter Matilda could not be Queen of England, Empress Matilda, because she was a woman, so they gave it to Stephen. Anyway, the big fighting went on, and we had a battle here, Battle of Clitheroe, in the June of 1138. Between the Scottish forces of King David I, who was supporting his niece, Queen Matilda, and the English forces of Stephen. And the result was the River Ribble turned red, and the Scots won, and took a load of English people to be slaves from around here. And I think might have got as far as Lancaster Castle, and may have perhaps built Lancaster Castle when they were in charge of it, at least the first stage. So that is what we're here for. If you've got a magnet fishing craze, you could probably find a nice Norman helmet in there.
Wow. The Battle of Clitheroe.
Battle of Clitheroe.
So, we've told you a ghost story, talked about the Battle of Clitheroe. Let's see if we can find some fossils in a quarry. Away! Right, we are at Salthill Quarry, former limestone quarry, worked until 1959, famous for its fossils, including sea lilies. Or crinoids.
I've seen Lily.
Alright.
Well, oh yeah, I can see them in.
Right, I can't see any, Tom can.
I can see fossils.
Fossils, where are we
Not just
looking?
you, Matthew. If you see, if you see here where the wood cuttings end,
Yes.
yeah, and look at the rock, and look at
Yes.
the rock just around that, going upwards out of it, you'll see all the sort of the fossils.
The fossils.
Yeah.
The fossils. Okay.
They're like teeth and
What?
like
Okay. Yeah.
like
Okay.
razors.
Alright.
You see them?
I'm filming this and there may not be anything on camera.
There is, they're all there.
Okay. So we're looking for crinoids, which are former plants that would have been here when this was an ocean. And apparently this was nearer the equator back then.
Yes.
Do you remember that time?
When it was near the equator, was that back when the Earth was flat and we were all on a big tortoise? How could it be nearer the equator?
Maybe the equator was different.
The equator is the centre of the Earth. How could the Clitheroe be the centre of the Earth?
Tell the people of Clitheroe that.
No, but no matter what map you look at, even if you are a flat earther, Clitheroe is not the centre.
Well,
Nearer the equator, my eye.
let's
I said I.
let's find some crinoids. We don't always agree.
Geography.
That's quite nice. So these are the plants that would have been here. Okay, now I can see them. Look at these. Definitely. Wow. Look at this. Wow. Yeah. Fossils galore. Hmm?
Don't mean.
So what we found?
I've got a handful of
Crinoids. Wow.
crinoids.
Got all those. Amazing.
Someone's getting a necklace for Christmas.
Thanks.
A Clitheroe necklace. Clitheroe choker.
Yes. Okay, objective complete. Salthill quarry found. Crinoid fossils found. Let's head into Clitheroe itself now. Go and have a look. Perhaps what it's most famous for. Its castle. Okay, so now we're outside Clitheroe Grammar School. We're not going to linger on the school because it is a school day. But what's the story here?
Well, in 1891, there used to be a house at the end of there called Well Hall, and it's the well where old Peg O'Neill, or Nell,
Yep.
sorry, was going to go and get her water. And in 1891, the Reverend and his wife, who were the headmistress and headmaster of the school, they'd gone on holiday. But there was such a commotion while they were away, and all the servants were shocked because all the windows opened unintentionally, all the bells were sounded, the door knockers were going, knives were thrown around at the dining room table, all the clothes in the upstairs were thrown out, and the police chief constable had to come down.
There he goes.
There he goes now. Hello, officer. And yes, and they said it was certainly Peggy Nell.
Wow, was she the ghost on the bridge?
She was the ghost from the bridge
wow,
from,
okay.
From Waddow Hall.
Amazing.
And, yeah.
And she was
Well
here as
Street,
well.
see, Well Hall, it must have been that end, where the extension was built in 1912.
Cool.
So, yeah. The White Lion, there was some ghost story attached to that. I never found that.
All right. Okay, so we've made it to the castle, kind of. Let me get up that hill first.
I must say, I saw them yesterday. So over there in the distance, the white building, that is Waddow Hall, where the ghost is from, and now activity centre.
Oh wow. So that concludes the ghost story. What do we know about the castle? What are you oohing at?
Todmorden Town Deal, watch on. Here is what your bandstand could look like.
Wow. Yep, very good.
For only 6 million. All private houses.
Oh wow. So we're at Clitheroe Castle. Tom has an interesting story about a big hole.
There's supposed to be a big hole in it, and I think it's this one. And the reason for it is not because it's a bit of a ruin that Cromwell knocked about a bit. No, it is indeed because the devil himself threw a giant boulder across from Pendle Hill, and it made that big hole. Now I can't see Pendle Hill today. Maybe that's because it's misty.
It is a bit of a foggy one.
Over
There
or the
somewhere.
hole could be round the other side. Well, that's not a hole, that's an arch.
So that's Pendle Hill there, isn't it?
That is. So where's the hole?
Where is the hole? They could have fixed it in the hundreds of years since.
I think it's behind that.
Ah, now they're fixing it.
Now the
Basically, they couldn't get any money off the devil to sue him or
no.
come and fix it. So I think it's behind there. We may find out if we go in that hole there.
No. Ah, yes, there's the devil's hole.
Oh yeah, wow. Gosh. Well, shame it's got scaffolding up, but yeah. So here we are inside. Where are we? Clitheroe Castle. Not Heptonstall.
Not Heptonstall.
Wow. It's pretty cool. So there would have been a floor here. Across. Ignore that, that's what the devil caused. But yeah, I suppose that would have been an entrance in. It's really intriguing. That gate though. I don't know what's behind there. Clitheroe Castle itself is free to visit and quite a worthwhile trip. There is a museum attached, but we weren't here on the right day for it to be open. And seeing Pendle Hill and links to the Pendle witches around town, maybe it's time for a Pendle witch video in the near future. Okay. David Byrne's jacket is on display, obviously, you see. But there we go, guys. That is our little walk around Clitheroe. Time is up for us here. So we've had some ghost stories, some folklore, some fossils, and a castle. Indeed. Thank you for finding out some info, Mr. Tom. Nice to have you back as well. We shall see you very soon for the next video. Take care. Bye for now.